perhaps it would have been better, because you are surely a legend, but you are being mistreated, in my opinion, by WWE when you first come there, and it was really a pity.
And that's my point. When Scott and Kevin came over, Bischoff had him kill everyone. You know, because he was building that monster, where they didn't do anything like that because WWE, that wasn't their goal. You know, their goal was something completely different. And, you know, I learned a lot from that in the business world. I learned you can't be afraid to walk away from the table. And do you know what Shark Tank is?
No, I don't know.
It's a show. It's a reality show here in the States. And it's the main thing that blew my company up big time. But I walked away from the table from the deal that they were offering me. I walked away from the deal that they were offering me numerous times before I finally signed it. It was the best move I ever made. But I learned that by making a mistake in signing early on with the WWE. Does that make sense?
Yes, I understand, because after 15 years they have done almost the same thing with Sting, who comes and loses it, so they never learn.
Well, they learn to do what they want to do. And again, Sting, I thought for sure would have written in something about that. But again, Sting doesn't, he doesn't write the storylines. But I'm sure he cost them a lot of money. It cost them a lot of money.
I would like to ask one thing about WCW in particular. You were with all these wrestlers, these big stars. All these stars were already known in the 80s, in the first 90s. And then it comes up that until nearly the end of WCW, only you and Goldberg were the new stars among all of the Hulk Hogan's, the Randy Savages, and so on. In your opinion, why you two were the only one to be new faces among these stars, to become stars among stars?
I can't answer that question. You know, I really don't know. I just know for me, I was never going to quit. Albert Einstein once said, "It's not that I'm so smart. I just stick with the problem longer." And for me, there was no way they were denying me. It's just like with DDP yoga. Everyone thought I was crazy. They told me, I didn't develop DDP yoga for yogis. I developed it for people like me, the person who wouldn't be caught dead doing yoga, but needs some yoga in their life big time. And for years, nobody believed it. You know, and I'm sure people laughed at me behind my back. But now, they all see what I see. Like, wow, how didn't we see this earlier? You know, you just have to stick with the problem longer.
That's one thing I appreciate about you, that's creativity. You have been a manager, you have been a commentator with the great Gordon Solie, you have been a wrestler, you have been now a DDP yoga instructor, and throughout all of these you have been creative. So let's talk one controversy. You were the People's Champ. You became the People's Champ because people were behind your success. Then in WWF at the same time, The Rock becomes the People's Champ. How does that make you felt back then?
Well, that's the angle I should have done when I came in there. And I knew it. I knew it 2 years before I ever got there. And it's the first goal that I set for myself that I didn't follow through to the end. That's another thing I learned. No one can derail me off of anything I want to do. If I really believe in it, no one can. Now, that's the one thing I would love to go back and change, but I don't think I'd be the businessman that I am today. But I would love to have worked with The Rock. I've got a ton of respect for him. I love, like, The Rock is something very, very, very special. You know, that pretty much comes around once in a lifetime. You could put The Rock in the same vein that you could put Sylvester Stallone, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger, John Wayne, Clint Eastwood. These are guys that were so iconic. Your life seems to revolve around them. So I would love to have done that and worked with the people, with the People's Champion versus People's Champion. But in retrospect, again, there's a guy I share something with, sort of like Randy Orton doing the RKO. Everybody knows he's doing the Diamond Cutter. Anybody who watched back in the day. But I love the affiliation with one of the guys I think is one of the best workers of the business. So, you know, between, you know, The Rock with the People's Champion, DDP with the People's Champion, Orton with the RKO and the Diamond Cutter, and Jay-Z with his sign and me with my Diamond Cutter sign, we all know who did all of those first. You know?
I know the Jay-Z thing because we have that gesture here in Italy too, but your diamond cutter gesture, it exists in Italy, but it has another meaning, which I don't know if I can say because it is a dirty meaning. It means lady parts, it means. I don't know if you know it, but just to say. And I would like to answer. In my opinion, my favorite match ever is you versus Goldberg at Halloween Havoc in 1998. In your opinion, what is your favorite match involving yourself and your favorite rival?
Well, without question, Randy Savage is my favorite. As far as rivals concerned, I love wrestling with Raven too and Benoit. Love working with everything with the NWO. As far as favorite matches, in my top 4 favorite matches, that one with Goldberg would definitely be on the list. He should have got beat with a Diamond Cutter that night though. Would have been way better for his career. The first match I had with Randy Savage and the second match, they were both amazing. Really, anytime I got in the ring with Randy, that Nitro match where I lost the world title to Sting and then won it back later that night, that match with Sting may be the best match they ever had on Nitro. You know, when I've done, I hosted the very best of Nitro, all three volumes, and I didn't see a better match than that match on the entire very best of Nitro. And the last one would have been, of course, and probably the one I hold the highest, is when I won the world title. And Sting and Hogan and Flair were right there, and Flair took the Diamond Cutter in the middle. I mean, I just can't imagine anything being any better than that.
That was amazing, and it's peculiar considering the fact that you and Flair later had some quarreling over how he judged your career, isn't it?
Well, we had probably a long time there was heat between us, but that's all fixed with being Rick now. We're both in a good spot with each other, and I like that.
Good. And later, when WCW closed, you went to WWF and later to TNA. How did you enjoy your time in TNA?
I enjoyed it in the way of I was 49 years old. I wanted to show what I could do because of DDP Yoga, and I had fun. You know, it was just for a little less than a year, but that's all I wanted. I didn't want to do more than that. They tried to lock me down with a contract, but I was done. I didn't want to beat up my body anymore. Plus, I wanted to mend the relationship with the WWE, which happened a couple of years after that. And, you know, we started the very best of Nitro. You know, I'm getting the best push in the WWE in the last couple of years I ever got from them. You know, between the very best of Nitro, all 3 volumes, and, you know, showing up on old school Raws, and then them really, you know, when I got to induct Jake into the Hall of Fame, and then got to be in the Royal Rumble last year, it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun for us fans too. If you look back at your career, you would have changed something. You would have done something in a different way, or you would have want to have done something that you haven't done.
Well, obviously, I would have gone to WWF at a different time. I would have waited. Okay, if I could go back in time, I would have waited for a couple of years. I mean years. Just to be able to go under different circumstances. But again, I've got to look at where I am today. My company is a multi-million-dollar company. I've got a DDP Yoga Performance Center that I built that's $2.3 million. I own it all completely. I don't owe the bank or anyone a dime. I just built the DDP Yoga Now app. It's over $1 million. I don't owe a dime. I've got millions in the bank in my company. I don't think I would change it.
I can relate.
I don't think I would change anything. You know, I'm what is today? I am 5 weeks from 60 years young, and I'm in amazing shape where most of my buddies are very beat up and broken down, but I'm not. And that's because of DDP Yoga. So, again, if I would have gone at a different time to the WWF than becoming the WWE, I don't know if I'd be in this position. I'm sure I wouldn't be. So I think you got to thank God not just for the successes you have in life. You have to thank God for the mistakes that you make. And every time I've made a mistake, I've learned from it.
That's maturity. You are a very great man, in my opinion. One last question before speaking of other aspects outside wrestling. I would like to know, do you still follow wrestling, and how you judge wrestling today? There's maybe a wrestler that can be considered your spiritual heir.
I watch occasionally now. I haven't really found the need to watch more often. It's a different era, and I have a lot of respect for these young men who are out there putting their body on the line every day. A lot of respect for all of them, and these women who I think are just becoming amazing. But I'm not really crazy about the storylines. I haven't found anything that really makes me go, okay, this is amazing. Now, a couple of years ago, the whole Daniel Bryan thing, I was riveted to the TV over that period. I was amazed biggest stars in our profession. I was there at WrestleMania 30, and I have heard the chant of DDP as loud can be, and I know I was really over. And then there was Daniel Bryan, who was really over. I mean, the people loved him. So, I tip my hat to that kid. I'm bummed out that he can't, for him, because I know he's so young, but have to retire. But I loved watching him. I loved his energy. I loved how he communicated with the people, and how the more they tried to hold him down, the more he rose up. That's the way my career went. And very interesting. At some point, WCW embraced my rise to fame, and they got behind me. But that was only after I got so far in front of them that they had to.
And speaking, for example, I noticed that you, as a versatile man, have tried cinema. How it was? Do you have some plans for films, for movies? How it was acting on a set?
I do little acting parts all the time, but there is something going to come out next year, and it's a dark superhero movie. And all I can tell you is the name of the movie. It's called Gods and Secrets. And it's something that will come out that may be really, really cool. Everybody will be talking about it. Or they'll be like, oh, they sort of, we don't, I don't know. You never know what's going to hit. You never know. But I know the guy who's directing it, and the stuff that he's done has been pretty awesome. So I can't imagine it not being really amazing. And I am the featured character in it. And the movie's called Gods and Secrets. And it'll be interesting to see how it comes out, because you never know what's going to hit. You just don't know. Like, there's nobody that believed that Deadpool would be as hot as it was 10 years ago, 8 years ago, 5 years ago. Now, today, everybody knows, oh my God, Deadpool. Say fuck a whole bunch of times, get an R rating, and don't worry about it. That would never be considered in the movie genre, doing a comic book, character R-rated, but they will now. You can bet somebody's writing a lot of R-rated shit right now.
I will watch your film with great pleasure.